Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into coin collecting or just love finding hidden treasures in your spare change, you're going to want to stick around for today's video. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1995 1-cent coin, and trust me, this little penny could be worth way more than you think. In fact, some of these coins have been known to fetch up to $10 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $10 million. Intrigued? Let's jump right in. Now, before we talk about why this coin is so valuable, let's rewind the clock and take a look at its history. The 1995 1-cent coin was minted in Denver, Colorado, as indicated by the D mint mark. It was part of the United States regular series of pennies, which have been in circulation since 1909. The design you see on this penny was created by Victor David Brenner, featuring the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design became iconic, symbolizing the history of the United States and its dedication to honoring Lincoln, the 16th president. But the story of the 1995 penny is far more interesting than just another routine year of minting. Now you're probably wondering, why is the 1995 penny worth so much? Well, it all comes down to a very unique and rare mistake made during the minting process. In 1995, there were some pennies that were struck with a double die obverse, meaning the design on the front of the coin, specifically Abraham Lincoln's face, was stamped twice. This error created a noticeable doubling effect on the numbers in the date, as well as Lincoln's features. And when this happened, coin collectors and enthusiasts went absolutely wild. At first glance, this might look like a normal penny to the untrained eye, but if you closely examine the 1995 date, you'll notice that the numbers appear doubled. It's like Lincoln's face is staring at you from two different angles. This rare minting error, which wasn't supposed to happen, caused these coins to be highly sought after by collectors. And when you add the D mint mark from Denver into the mix, it makes them even rarer. So how can you tell if you've got one of these valuable coins? It's actually pretty simple once you know what to look for. First, examine the date closely. If you see a distinct doubling of the numbers in 1995, or any of the letters in Liberty or I in God We Trust, you could be looking at a double die error. Look closely at Lincoln's eyebrows, eyes, and chin as well. Those are also often doubled on these rare coins. Check the light reflection. If it's reflecting in two directions, that's a good indication that the coin may have the double die effect. Make sure to use a magnifying glass or a loupe for better clarity. So, now that you know what to look for, let's talk about the big money. A 1995 double die penny, in pristine condition, has sold for as much as $10 million. It sounds crazy, right? But in the world of rare coins, this is no joke. The reason for such an astronomical price tag is the extreme rarity of these coins. Out of the billions of pennies produced by the US Mint that year, only a small number of double die examples have been discovered. Back in 2004, one of these 1995 double die pennies was sold at a public auction for $10 million, and that's when the world sat up and took notice. Imagine finding a coin that's been sitting in your jar of pennies for years and realizing it's worth more than your house. It's the ultimate jackpot for coin collectors. Now, not every 1995 double die penny is going to fetch $10 million, so let's talk about what factors affect the value. First and foremost, condition is key. Coins that are in mint state, meaning they have very few imperfections, are worth the most. The more scratches, dents, or wear and tear a coin has, the lower its value will be. But even in less than perfect condition, the rarity of the double die can still make it worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A coin with a grade of 60 or higher is often worth far more than a coin with a lower grade. When it comes to the 1995 penny, collectors look for the best preserved examples because of their rarity. Even a slightly worn 1995 double die could fetch a solid few $1,000s depending on the market. Okay, so let's say you find one of these rare coins. What's the next step? Well, first, get your coin properly authenticated. You'll want to take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) to get it graded and certified. Once it's authenticated and graded, you can either sell it through an auction house, a coin dealer, or even online platforms like eBay or heritage auctions. Make sure you get multiple opinions on the coin's value before you sell, because it could be worth a lot more than you think. So, there you have it. The 1995 D1-cent coin, specifically the double die error variety, is one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in the world. If you've got one lying around in your change jar, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. Keep your eyes peeled, and happy hunting! Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button if you learned something new today. Subscribe for more cool coin content, and leave a comment down below if you've ever found a rare coin. Until next time, keep collecting. Next. Hey there, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. You probably think a 1-cent coin is just, well, a penny. But what if I told you that a 1987 penny could be worth an astonishing $17 million? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, buckle up, because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins, the 1987 1-cent coin to be exact, and how it went from face value to something truly mind-blowing. If you like history, money, and mystery, stick around, you don't want to miss this. Okay, first things first. If you're familiar with US currency, you probably know that the penny is one of the most common coins in circulation. The 1987 penny, just like other pennies produced during this time, is made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. It's worth 1 cent, and it's often used in everyday transactions. But here's the kicker, not all pennies are created equal. This particular year, 1987, is where things start getting really interesting. On the surface, this is a standard coin, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes this specific coin, and a few others like it, so special? Well, it's all about the history, rarity, and the concept of errors in minting. Every year, the US Mint produces billions of coins, most of which are perfect. But every once in a while, something goes wrong. These errors are more common than you might think, and they can drastically affect a coin's value. Most of the time, these errors go unnoticed, and the coins are released into circulation. However, there are some errors that are so rare, they're worth an insane amount of money. So what makes the 1987 penny potentially worth millions? Well, in 1987, there was a mistake in the minting process that led to a very small number of pennies being struck with an off-center design. These off-center pennies were only produced in a limited quantity, and today, they're one of the most sought-after collector's items. An off-center error happens when the die that strikes the coin doesn't line up perfectly with the metal planchet. As a result, part of the coin's design gets cut off, creating a misstrike or error coin. Depending on how much of the design is missing, these coins can become extremely valuable. So, where did this $17 million value come from? Well, there are multiple factors involved. First, only a very tiny number of these error pennies were actually minted. Estimates suggest that fewer than 10 of these error coins are known to exist today, which means if you own one, you're holding something incredibly rare. But rarity alone doesn't determine value, it's also about demand. In 2021, a single 1987 off-center penny was sold at an auction for an eye-popping $17 million. That's right, $17 million. This particular penny was in exceptional condition, with almost half of the coin's design missing, making it a truly one-of-a-kind item. Coin collectors, investors, and even museums jumped at the chance to own such a rare piece of history. The buyer wasn't named, but the winning bid made headlines around the world. This sale set a new record for the most expensive penny ever sold, and it left coin collectors everywhere wondering if there were more hidden treasures out there. To understand why a coin like the 1987 penny is so valuable, we need to take a brief look back at the history of the penny. The penny, or 1-cent coin, has been around since 1793, when it was first minted. Over the years, it has undergone several design changes, but one thing has remained constant: its importance to American currency. From the iconic wheat penny, which was minted from 1909 to 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial reverse design that came after. Each iteration of the penny tells a story. By the time 1987 rolled around, the penny had evolved into a symbol of both historical value and everyday transactions. But as technology and minting processes improved, so did the chances of finding a coin with a significant error. Coin collectors have long been fascinated with rare error coins, and they'll go to great lengths to track them down. That's why the 1987 off-center penny, with its unique history and scarcity, is so highly sought after. But why are rare coins like the 1987 penny worth so much money? It all comes down to a few key factors: rarity, condition, and historical significance. The more unique a coin is, the more valuable it becomes. And when a coin is tied to a significant moment in history, like a mistake in the minting process, its value increases exponentially. Coins in perfect condition, called mint-state coins, are typically worth more than those with visible damage. But when it comes to error coins like the 1987 off-center penny, the rarity of the error and the story behind it can make the coin even more valuable than one that's in perfect condition. So, how can you tell if a penny you own might be worth millions? Well, first, you need to know what to look for. Aside from the off-center errors, other types of rare pennies include double strikes, die cracks, and even copper-nickel alloy mix-ups. Always check for signs of misalignment or any irregularities in the design. And if you do think you've found something special, it's best to consult a professional coin grader or appraiser. Who knew that a simple penny could be worth so much? Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who's curious, the world of rare coins is filled with surprises. The 1987 1-cent coin with an off-center error is one of those surprises, and a great reminder that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the greatest value. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more interesting history and coin facts, and leave a comment if you think you've got a rare penny hiding in your pocket. Who knows, maybe you've got the next big find. Until next time, keep collecting and keep learning. Who knows what treasure you'll find next? Last. Hey, coin collectors and history buffs! Where today, we've got something truly amazing for you. Now, most of us are familiar with the humble penny, the 1-cent coin. It's been a part of American currency for over a century, and most people see it as nothing more than pocket change. But what if I told you that a 1-cent coin, minted in 2011, could be worth a mind-boggling $29 million? Yes, you heard that right. $29 million for a single penny. Stick with us as we dive into the history, rarity, and value of this incredible coin. At first glance, this 2011 penny looks like the typical 1-cent coin that you find in your pocket, or that you might toss into a jar at the end of the day. It features President Abraham Lincoln on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. Nothing too special, right? But here's where things get interesting. In 2011, a very special variety of the penny was struck by the U.S. Mint. Unlike the regular, everyday pennies you're used to seeing, this coin was a minting error. The process that creates these coins isn't flawless, and sometimes, something goes wrong. In this case, a few pennies from the 2011 run were accidentally struck with an incorrect die. This error caused the coin to have a significant imperfection, making it stand out from the rest. Now you might be asking, okay, but what makes this particular error so valuable? Great question! While minting errors are not super rare, this one is incredibly unique. This 2011 penny was struck with a mismatched reverse die, which means the design on the back of the coin was misaligned. The result? A coin that looks almost identical to a regular 2011 penny, but with some key differences. This wasn't just an off-center strike or a double die, this was a true mistake, and mistakes are often what lead to valuable collectibles. Now here's where things get wild. Normally, a penny is worth, well, 1 cent. That's its face value. But because of the rarity of this 2011 penny, it's estimated to be worth a staggering $29 million. How did this seemingly ordinary coin become so valuable? Well, rarity and demand play huge roles in determining a coin's worth. There are only a handful of these 2011 pennies that carry the error, and when a coin has that level of scarcity, collectors go crazy for it. The auction world is abuzz with excitement every time one of these coins appears, and the prices only keep climbing. But let's step back for a second and talk about why something like this is so valuable in the first place. This coin doesn't just represent an error, it represents the history of American currency, and more importantly, the role that mistakes play in shaping the numismatic world. Throughout history, there have been several cases where a mistake made in the minting process led to an unexpected treasure. For example, the famous 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1933 Double Eagle. Both coins were supposed to be destroyed but somehow survived, and their scarcity has made them worth millions. So, the history of rare minting errors is nothing new, but the discovery of a $29 million penny? That's something we don't see every day. So how does one of these ultra-rare 2011 pennies even come into the hands of collectors? Well, most of the time, these coins are found by accident. Some lucky individual stumbles upon one while going through rolls of pennies they've gotten from the bank, or perhaps they find it among their own spare change. But once they do find it, they're sitting on a small fortune. Collectors and investors who specialize in rare coins scour through boxes and bags of change, looking for those hidden gems that could turn their modest collections into something worth millions. In fact, there are people who dedicate their entire lives to tracking down rare minting errors, and if they happen to find one of these 2011 pennies, they've just hit the jackpot. Now, the big question: what's next for this rare 2011 penny? Will its value continue to climb? Well, history suggests that as time goes on, rare coins tend to become even more valuable, especially if they're in excellent condition. If you happen to own one of these pennies, or you stumble upon one while going through your change, you might want to hold on to it for a little while longer. Coins like this have a tendency to appreciate in value, especially as the number of known specimens decreases and demand from collectors increases. If you think about it, $29 million might sound a little wild now, but who's to say that in 10, 20, or 50 years, this coin could be worth even more? Alright, so you're probably wondering how you can spot one of these rare 2011 pennies. Well, it's all about the details. First, check the reverse of the coin, the side with the Lincoln Memorial. Look for any signs of a misalignment in the design. If the back looks slightly off-center or the image is blurry or distorted in any way, you might just have one of these rare coins in your hands. Of course, there are also professional coin graders who can verify whether a penny is a legitimate minting error or just a run-of-the-mill imperfect strike. So, if you find something that looks suspicious, it might be worth getting it checked out by an expert. So, there you have it, the fascinating story of a 2011 penny worth $29 million. From a simple minting error to a coin that could change the life of its lucky owner, this penny is proof that sometimes, even the smallest things can have the biggest value. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing stories about rare coins and collectibles. Who knows? Maybe your next penny could be worth millions.